Hello, everyone.
Hello, viewers. Welcome back to yet another episode of Health and Happiness. And
Hey. Calm down, Jessica. What happened to you? Why you a bit chirpy? जनता कुछ ज़्यादा ही excited charge नहीं लग रही है आज ये. So what is the reason,
क्यों
Jessica?
तुम्हें मेरी खुशी से दिक्कत हो रही
Why?
है?
नहीं
Guys,
दिक्कत नहीं है पर
seriously?
कुछ ज़्यादा ही खुशी
तो
है.
our topic is health and happiness यार. क्यों खुश नहीं होंगी मैं? और हम
Yeah, I
नहीं खुश
know
होंगे तो
that.
इनको कैसे खुश करेंगे? Besides
हाँ ये भी
that,
point है.
तुम्हें पता है आज
बोलिए.
हमारे पास दो नहीं तीन
हाँ.
पैनलिस्ट हैं.
Okay.
And
So
first up,
let's.
we have
Mhm.
Sir M.N. Tiwari. He is an IPS officer at a DIG rank and an additional commissioner of police operations at the Delhi Police Department.
And joining him, since this is a segment of health and happiness, today we have focused on the life and health issues related to the civil servants. So joining him, we have Mr. Farooq Renjusha. He is an administrative. He's a retired civil servant. He served as a commissioner in Jammu and Kashmir. He served as deputy commissioner in various sensitive districts. He's author of 22 books. He worked for the ensured successful polythene ban in the valley of Kashmir. He is a Sufi personality and is working to revive Sufi glory of Kashmir. Even after his retirement, he is working for the nation, for the society. So welcome everyone, Mr. Farooq Renju Shah. And we have joining him, Jessica.
And joining him when speaking about health, how can we forget doctors? Doctors are lifesavers right now, and especially during these corona times now. Kanish?
Exactly. Exactly.
So joining him, we have Dr. J.S. Totial, and he is a professor, head of Department of Cornea Cataract Surgery at Army Center, AIMS in Delhi. He is a recipient of the prestigious Padma Shri Award in 2014, ICSKRS Society of I of uh okay, wait, I'm a little confused because
What?
he's so talented, and he's got so many achievements. Like
We
in
can go on for the
2015,
day. Right.
like we can go on for a day, but let me just tell you all that in 2015 he received the Senior Achievement Award by American Academy of Ophthalmology, and he is the first Indian to perform life surgery at the ASCRS USA in 2009. Can
So
you
guys,
believe it?
never. So
Whew,
guys,
so much.
let's welcome all of the panelists, more renowned panelists. Hello, sir. Hello,
Hello.
everyone.
Hello and welcome,
How
sir.
are you, sir? How are you all?
Great. Welcome.
So, first of all, sir, I would like to thank all the panelists for your contribution to the society because you are in the front line in fighting Corona or the civil issues in a society. So, first of all, thank you for your commitment. Thank you for your uh, development, your whatever contribution you are giving to the society can never be measured. Thank you so much for that, sir. So
Thank
I
you.
would like to start with IPS MN Tiwari, sir. So this segment we have focused on civil servants, sir, because people are generally unaware of mental health of a civil servant, right? And what he or she goes through to cope up with the workload which he has. So please tell our viewers about it, and also what happiness means to an administrative officer. You can also a little elaborate on that aspect too. Thank you, sir.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir. You are audible.
Yes, sir.
Am I audible? I
Yes,
think
sir.
that your voice is cracking. Okay, so
Okay.
as far as I can understand the topic, first of all, I would like to pay my respect to the respected panelists because they are all senior people and audiences as well. The topic which I was given is mental health, wellness, etc. in the time of corona, especially with regard to government servants or those civil servants who are more working in the front line uh, to cope with the challenges of the health, personal health, and how to deliver better to the profession to which they belong. First of all, I would like to express my views with regard to happiness and mental health. Let me tell you, as far as I understand, the body responds better when there is a mind-body synchronization. If you read Mr. Deepak Chopra, which I usually like to listen always, that if you have a good condition of mind, you are at peace with yourself, the mind gets better synchronized with your body, and then mind body balance actually improves your health. What happens? The stress, anxiety, and so many things which actually stress us, our negativities inside us, are if we are not able to actually keep our mind balanced, focused inside, contented to some extent, whatever we have. So this is a very philosophical question. I am jumping into the boundaries of philosophy, because I always believe that health of mind is not a reflection of your material well-being, because your position in society, your profession, these all are important things. But health is something which you have to develop a kind of philosophy, a value system in which you are living, and then so many other important ingredients, like you are at peace with yourself, you have defined your values, you know that you are having a purpose of life. If you read the book, great book which I will suggest, The Power of Meaning, life, you can't derive happiness without a purpose of life. So define your purpose of life. For what we are there? We are there to keep ourselves healthy. We are there to do something to society. We are here to do balance to the profession. So until unless you are having an equilibrium of professional life, social life, personal life, familial life, you cannot actually enjoy the happiness. You cannot be happy, rather. So happiness is something which is a combination of several factors. But simply being comfortable doesn't give you happiness. Happiness is always related to some purposefulness. So this is why people who have a lot of social missions, people who have a lot of goals in the life to deliver something good in the society, are the social missions, charity missions, health mission. I mean, anything you can plan as per your competencies. Yes, this is my purpose of life. I will live, I will have my work or personal life balance plus a purpose in the life. So purposefulness is very important for the happiness, and happiness is dependent on all these factors. And then most important factor is health. So health has some physical factors, like having a proper protocol of the health, which doctors suggest that you have to have a proper body chemistry, you have to have preventive health ingredients, like doing a proper exercise or something, having a proper diet, nutrition, and then you have a proper state of mind, so that you are able to synchronize yourself properly. With this kind of framework, you can increase your happiness. And once this health and happiness gel together, and then we have, if we have our better purposes in life, I always say that life is you cannot be happy simply because you are very comfortable, cozy in your AC chamber and a very luxurious house, whatnot. You have to have a purpose of life. If you don't have a purpose of life, your happiness will be very small, transient, very small period. So always have a
Right, sir.
goal. Yes,
Right.
if I have something, if
Right,
I have
sir.
something,
Very true.
if I have something beyond my personal needs, and to some extent my whatever the infrastructure, then I must have a purpose in life, a purpose in my profession. Why I am in a particular profession? What is my purpose of profession? If I am done with my purpose of my profession, then why? What is my obligation to society? My obligations to other people? Because simply being rich yourself, professionally competent, you are not giving something to the society from which you have grown. I think you cannot be happy. A happy man may not be always very rich always. Let me tell you, wealth and happiness are not very zero sum game. It's not like that. You can be happy even with lesser resources, but with a higher purpose. So those people
Sure,
who
sir.
don't have any purpose in the life, And when I am defining the purpose, I'm not saying very, very saintly purpose or the, yes, if you can, you do, why not? But I am telling that every person must have a purpose, defined purpose in his life. This is what I want to do. If I have this, I will do this. If I will get this, I will do this. If I have this much, I will do this. Many people are searching happiness. Many people, this is why I suggest my audiences to read the very good book I recently finished, The Power of Meaning. That is how we actually realize ourselves. Because a man, it is always said, when you give something, you get more pleasure. Because if you save somebody's life, you get more pleasure than killing somebody. So
Very
we
true,
are
sir.
Sure, sir,
intrinsically,
sure.
we are
Very true.
intrinsically a social human being. We never get enjoyment in our
Ve-
personal
very
solutions. We never get.
good.
I give you every
Yes,
damn
sir.
thing
Yes,
on
sir.
an island,
You
and I give you everything, but you don't have any person to interact with you. Within 1 week, you will say, no, I don't want all these things. I want to join my society back. So it is why I want to join society back, because we are intrinsically a social human being. And so being a social human being, there are certain obligations on us, because it is not one-way game that we will get everything from society, but we will not give anything. That is why I always say that we have certain obligations to nature, certain obligations to profession, certain obligations to society, and certain obligation to each and everything which is outside us. So until unless we mix our obligations with our resources, and then we define our value system. And when we define our value system, then actually we decide the framework of life. This is what I mean. If this is what I am. If I am in profession, I have to contribute good. What is my target in the profession? Not simply getting promotions. Everybody will get promotion being an IPS or IAS, something where it's time bound. And if you don't do anything, you will get faster promotions, because there will not be any 360 challenges to you, degree challenges to you. So my point is that just getting very good postings, just getting very good promotions is a very trivial concept, let me tell you. You can get all these professional recognitions, but if you have a purpose in your profession, what is purpose in profession? For example, we are in police service. When you are in the field, then you are supposed to deliver a lot of criminal justice issues to the common person who doesn't have any kind of influence in society, and then you deliver those things. And here I remember very beautiful line which our great grandfather has said, that when you are doing anything, taking any decision, just think what will be its impact on the poorest of the poor. What, influential person will as well get justice anyway, because he is capable of getting the system influence. But when you are able to deliver anything to the common man who is not so powerful and influential, by using your position, whatever our prime minister said, don't have satta bhav mat lijiye, shiva bhav lijiye. We are a civil service, we are not civil power. See, I would like to say the entire architecture of the civil service, we are service. We are not power positions. If we think that, normally people confuse with the power positions, forgetting the service positions. So service is a purpose. And what is service is our purpose. And if we are failing to deliver the service to the people, then I'm sorry, we are not actually doing justice to our profession. And when we are not doing justice to our profession, I'm sure we cannot be happy. There, in bureaucratic parlance, people are judged how so many, negative factors, that he has got this, he has got this. But believe me, the respect only that officer gets, who may not be very much economically well-to-do, having a sprawling bungalow, all that. Because if you, then your head high. When you talk to somebody else, yeah, in this posting, I did so many good things, I did contribute so many things. So that becomes the purpose of the profession. I always say, always try to define anything in terms of a purpose. If you have not been able to define anything in the terms of purpose, you will never get happiness, because then you are gone into processes, disjointed processor. You have lived like that, ramblers. So I always say that life is a purpose, and purpose is something which is a halfway yourself and halfway it belongs to society. And once you mix that thing, you get a better picture of yourself. Now coming to, if as far as my talk with my colleague, with the conference officer contacted me that in the time of Corona, see, since I belong to the police, I will say that one thing, being Delhi police, I can say that it was really a challenging, and it is continuing for all the ranks, because keeping ourselves safe and then delivering the professional services has sometimes it becomes very challenging task, because you have a family, you have old mother, you have a small child in your house. They are scared that you are going to deliver, you are going to be infected. So you come back in the house being scared. People are scared to you in your home itself. A lot of preachings are done to you, everything, family, because after all, you are a very important person of the family. And this belongs to more the officers, from officers to the lower ranks, at all ranks. But one thing I will say, that in my small I mean this since the time of intensity of corona, after March and onwards, I did not find a single police officer working under me who could say, sir, I do not want to do this because I'm scared of the corona. Yes, we have educated our people, we have educated ourselves, and there are a lot of very evolving precautions. Every day new precaution comes, that it is airborne, it is N95 is not working, so many things. In this evolving world of medicines and preventive measures, it is very difficult to make person confident when he is interacting, because as a police officer, you have to go on raids, you have to catch the criminal who may not be having all kind of precautions. So you are very vulnerable to that kind of sickness which coronavirus can spread. So in these circumstances, but people are doing it, and our police has not only done this. If you remember the tweets of Honorable Home Minister and all that, the police was very much used in distributing
Definitely, sir. Yes, sir.
rations.
We'll come back to you, sir, on that very aspect.
Yeah.
Let me first bring in Dr. J.S. Tityal. I would request Jessica to please continue question with him.
Yes, sir. Yes, doctor. First of all, doctor, how are you? Doctor, your mic is
So your
mute.
mic is muted.
Okay, yeah, I'm on now. Thank
Yes.
you and
Yes,
good
doctor, you're
afternoon.
on.
Good afternoon. Very nice to be with you people. And my due regards to all of you working in this particular time and the ACTF thing, which is very exciting to know that you people are doing such a wonderful job. And
Pleasure to have you on our webinar, sir.
when I got a call from Dr. Jha, I said, yes, why not? Let me say something in this regard also. And listening to Mr. Tiwari was wonderful. And a police officer saying something, it gives a lot of excitement to a general public. And same with me
Yes,
Yes.
also.
doctor. Now, doctor, I have a question for you, which has been playing on my mind personally also a lot. You know, doctor, nowadays the youth believes in shortcuts a lot. I myself, believe कि जल्दी जल्दी काम हो जाना चाहिए, जल्दी जल्दी हर चीज हो जानी चाहिए. So nowadays, when people are believing so much in shortcuts, so this thing, when we're dealing with depression, are these shortcuts lead us to taking drugs like antidepressing pills and other medical drugs or even other things? So now, could you tell me, is there any other alternative when coming to antidepressing pills or anything like that, or is it better that way?
Uh, Jessica, that's a wonderful point you have raised today. I can understand people would be under serious stress, anxiety, sometimes depression also. Today, as we talk about happiness, as we listen to Mr. Tiwari, happiness has so many other ways to have a happiness. But when you connect to a health, that means better health gives happiness. There are two things are important in that. One is a mental health, second is a physical health. And due to change of your working profile, your concentration into your job requirement has changed so much. Your activities have changed. Therefore, it's not only young people, it is people who are working or people at home. They are always under serious mental stress. Therefore, the happiness is gone from their daily activities. In that regard, I think people have to understand and accept to the fact that something has changed from their daily activities. Once we accept that, you like to modify your approach, your attitude, your work profile, your daily timekeeping would change according to the new environment which is there with the COVID now. The first thing young people have to understand, they have to change as per the requirement of this new era which has come with us, and it's not going to go off immediately. It may be there for another 1 year or 2 year down the line. Therefore, we have to accept and modify ourselves. I can understand people who are working in a front, like a police people or a medical personnel, or a people who are working to do so many other cleaning works. They would have a definite mental stress in their working area. But people who already have a mental problem, like they have anxiety, they have some sort of depression, and they were on treatment, these are people, they'll have more problems. And shortcut, as you rightly said, is not a good way to tackle these issues, because whatever you do it has to be in consultation with a person who knows about the disease, who knows about the medication, how it has to be given, how it has to be modified, and what all things to be done apart from medication to improve the condition of that particular person. So, in a medical terms, a shortcut is never a good idea. Always have a proper attitude to go to a person who has a knowledge and who gives a right advice for this particular disease or the problem or a situation to which has to be taken into consideration. So, I would say we do have in a various areas. AIMS is one of the first institution where we started a teleconsultation facility for entire country. In that, you could it can be you or any patient or a member or a person who wants to have some information, or person who is under serious stress because of their patient, their relative, their parents, or a doctor who is treating in a peripheral area doesn't have access to a newer technologies. Those people can directly get connected to our website. We have a direct phone number in that they can connect to us, and we can give our advice to a treating physician. We can give advice to a person, patient. And if I see the entire last 3 months data, we have a maximum number of calls from a people who have some sort of a mental stress or they have anxiety. So that is, we have already covered more than 1.2 lakh teleconsultation to people from various parts of the country. Of that, 10% are physicians themselves. And people having mental problems or having anxiety, some sort of difficulty in their daily approach are the largest number. So we feel that our teleconsultation is working very well because we can solve their problem at home, and they are also not allowed to come to the hospital where they can have some more anxiety because they think hospital will give them more infection. So this is working in a two ways. So you can treat them in their home environment, which is going to be much better for these people rather than getting them to hospital. Yes, if they have a serious problem which is not getting cured, they still have a problem, we do call them to hospital and treat them. So this is a one good way of looking after the people who are suffering. So I'm pretty sure even a police forces would have some sort of a teleconsultation system for their own people, how to fight with this situation, which may be just a personal situation, which may be a field situation, which may be related to a patient also. I've heard so many news where police people are trying to get into hospitals for their own treatment, which is getting difficult. So things have improved in last 3 months. We have understood how to take care of this difficult situation. I can understand we do have problems, but once we understand this problem is going to be there, we have to modify ourselves, have to modify according to the new situation. I'm pretty sure the health situation will improve and happiness will come.
Sure, doctor. That was a very helpful information for our viewers because here he told about our alternatives that we have instead of going to the hospital, that is telecommunication. Thank you so much for that information, sir. Now we also have joined Farooq sir has joined us. So I would request you to please unmute your mic. Your voice is not audible, sir. You were saying something.
Okay. Is it okay?
Y- Yes, sir. It is fine. It's fine now.
It's
So
okay now? Okay.
yes,
Because
it's
we
very
have
fine.
here the problem of the 2G and 4G. We don't have the
Sure.
4G. but
Okay.
I'm very happy that I'm getting a very great panelist, and
Yes.
you are working lot. I know very well.
I guess we have our technical glitches which we are facing right
Yeah,
now.
with my background, you have a very good topic today. Very great topic. I was hearing Mr. Tiwari also and Dr. Saab also, and I tell you honestly, today it is a need of an hour. That how we can really be happy also, be health oriented also, save our nation also, save people also, work for the humanity also, because the world is changing. Is the post corona period. Is that we are passing through the corona. Now new configuration of the world has taken place. And in Kashmir, when you talk about Kashmir, really we had been traditionally, when I look towards the our own traditions, we see that there have been earlier, we never had so many rail connections or the transport connections, but we had at that time, we had certain therapies, like I have seen and I have been telling, spiritual therapy is also very important. When you go for, because everybody, Hindu has his own spiritual therapy, Muslims have their own therapy, but overall I am believer of the Sufiyat, and the Sufi therapy has been always that you keep a taviz and really believe and strengthen your antibodies. And similarly, there were the chili cakes which were always in earlier times, that they kill the inside viruses. Like it is a combination of garlic, red chili, it was cardamom, cumin, it was the clouses, it was the funnel flowers, it was so many mixture of spring onions, and I think a lot of things, and they would prove very good in these situations. Now you don't have the medicine, you don't have the vaccine. People are just plasma is sometimes working, sometimes it is not working. Ventilators work, sometimes they don't work. So in this situation, what is to be done? How can we really come forward? It is the administrators treatment also. How administrators can, like, what is your topic, how administrator can create, they don't have to create an atmosphere where people feel more secure. They don't have to create an atmosphere where people will feel more panicky. They have to create it. We are fighting together. It is not our lone battle. It is not the battle of only Mr. Tiwari or the doctors only. It is the battle of all of us. How we all join together. We are. I have been seeing here. We have the plasma therapy groups. I saw that Mr. Farid doing very well. I saw the doctors doing very well, searching the donors, taking the donors to the patients. I have seen the Atiqad people. I've seen the Tabish doing. I've seen been lot of people who were reciting the 99 names of Allah near the patient. And I've seen so many patients only by listening the 90 names of God getting antibodies so strong that they come out of the bed, and it turns into the negative. Sometimes you can call it a miracle, or you can call that your therapy, the spiritual therapy has enriched his antibodies. So I am of a very firm opinion, that in present situation people are passing through the crisis, but those crises can be minimized only by happiness. One earlier they would call, telling that health is wealth. Today health is a happiness. Happiness is state of mind. Once when you started together, you were telling to Jessica how you are, why you are jubilant and all. So we have to be in the laughing mode. We have to be in the smiling mode. We have to talk that everything is all right. And I've seen the present establishment coming. Earlier they were telling they were pressing only button. Today they are talking of the recoveries. Today the national channels are talking of how many has recovered. Today I'm telling you, I'm from Kashmir, and I'm telling you from this Kashmir, I have even recoveries are crossing 80, 85%. when my recoveries are crossing, so they are becoming a very antibodies, powers. So they are tomorrow, they become a precious people to donate their blood for others also. So this is also a good chapter. Good chapter. We have to save our education. Education is collapsing. How we will just teach our children? We have to change even security scenario. Security here also, like humans are all alike. Whether they are in uniform, they are in not uniform. You need people here. People are serving. Security people are serving. They also need our support in this situation. If he is a patient, if we are the patient, I have seen so many camps recently. One camp, so many camps in the Badgam and the Srinagar area were established in the name of Murshid Kashmir, Hazrat Bulbul Shah, who was of the humanist. He was talking of the human synergy together, human power together. Today it is a time when we talk of spirituality, health, education, mental state, happiness together. You cannot isolate. It cannot be the communist state that you isolate the spirituality out of the society. It can't be the Naxalite state.
Yes,
You
sir.
separate the spirituality out. Whatever faith you have, every faith, lakum deenakum waliyadeen, every faith is to be respected. That's the
Sure.
sin going on of every faith.
Sure.
Every faith
I'm
is to be
sure,
respected,
sir,
and it is
this
to be merged together.
I'm sure that, sir, this is definitely going to help Kanishk, and I hope that he's always going to smile. Also,
Definitely.
I'd like to take the recipe for that chili cake that you had said earlier. After this
Great.
show, I'll definitely ask you about that recipe.
I'll send you that at chemistry. You have the lot of flowers, you have the spring onions, you have the cloves, you have cardamom, cumin, you have the mustard oil, is all together. It has been for 700 years in Kashmir, and very effective, and it has some forest ingredients also mixed with it, and it has proved very correct.
I'll
Sure, sir.
definitely ask
That,
this recipe, sir.
that's a very great piece of information coming directly from Mr. Farooq, sir. So thank you
Thank
so
you.
much for giving us information about the alternative. Since we don't have antibodies, we can go for spiritual remedies. Thank you so much for that. Let me now bring in Mr. Mahind Aman Tiwari, sir. Sir, thank you so much for waiting for so long. Sir, you told about happiness. Sir, I want to ask on a very personal note how you manage stress, because people in normal life, when they face any issues, they say, yo, I'm stuck with thing, I cannot be happy, they are very stressed and all. You have workload of a district and sometimes of combined district of your regional areas. How you manage it and how you cope up with it, how you motivate your subordinates. So please, sir, can you please? And same goes with the other panelists too. I'll start with IPS. Aman Tiwari, sir.
See, managing personal stress, uh, especially being a police officer, combining the stress of profession, delivery of services, and then health is almost a challenging job. And here I will always reply that you, I am just personally, I am just describing that when you see that there are certain things which you cannot escape, when you are ready for the consequences, when you know your limits, and when you are very, very communicative to the people who are going to be stakeholder in your delivery of services. See, communication makes a lot of difference in managing your stress. So whatever constraints and whatever shortages you have with regard to delivery of your services, if
So
you
extremely
communicating
sorry
well
to
with your
interrupt. So
ecosystem
your
of
voice
our
is
culture,
not audible right now, sir. Please, can you bit a little bit louder, or you can please bring your mic in closer proximity.
is it audible now? Is it
Yes,
audible
definitely,
now?
sir. Definitely,
Is it
definitely. Yes,
audible?
sir. Yes.
See, first of all, we will have to understand what is stress. Stress is a situation where we have a target, we are not able to meet that, and we have a fear in us, and that the combination of all these actually increase our anxiety levels. So first of all, I would always say managing your stress level is a scenario where you have to see what are your constraints. If you have constraints in your video, you have to be very much communicative to your stakeholders. Suppose if somebody, my some of his staff is having diabetes, and he is not able to do some public interaction duties, and if he comes to me and says, sir, I want to have a different kind of job because I cannot do efficiently, his communication makes his anxiety free. So making your anxiety free, so one thing is that first be communicative that you have problem, and if you communicate properly and honestly to the stakeholder of the work culture, one step of your stress is complete. I mean, your stress is undone. Second thing is that you know that keeping your goals higher and higher, when you cannot achieve them, makes you more stressed. So therefore, be pragmatic in your decision of goals. You understand what you are. Do not be overestimated. Do not be underestimated. Try to understand where you stand in the scheme of things, what you can do and what you cannot do. And if you are able to say in a very, very decorum following fashion and all that, that this is what I cannot do, this is I will do. And when you try these all things, first of all, I always say that a comfortable communication eases all your problems. Managing your stress inside is that when we are not actually aware about our self positions, we are not actually aware what we actually want, why we are worried because we want to deliver, why I am not able to deliver, I don't know, but and then we get stressed. So define your deliveries, what you can deliver and what you cannot. And then if you follow the scheme of things which you have pre-decided and which you have well thought, then your stress is over. So managing my stress, I always become very clear, this much I can do, this much I can try to do, but this much I cannot do. So once you are able to define yourself inside, and if you are able to communicate the same thing to your stakeholder in the system, your stress is gone. And another thing is that I would always say that emotional intelligence is the biggest tool to minimize your stress. What we don't have inclination to develop our emotional intelligence. We have to have a patience. We have to have empathy to others. And then if we have improved our communication skills, a lot of stress issues are gone. This is the way I try to handle my stress issues.
Sure, sir. Sure. Very informative piece. Set your limits, audience. Don't go for too high. Just set your limits and work for it. Rightly said, sir.
Yes. So once again, I will like to ask Doctor. So, sir, Doctor, may I ask you?
Well, talking on,
Yes,
So you were saying
yes.
something?
So, Doctor,
yeah,
may
yeah,
I
Jessica,
ask
go
you
on.
that we have always spoken how happiness makes us healthy, how happiness, brings about health, like, builds immunity and everything. But what if we discuss it in reverse or like, vice versa? There are conditions, there are situations where, certain health conditions can cause us, unhappiness, not just stress, anxiety, depression, or anything, but other
Yeah.
health conditions as well that could cause us unhappiness. Could you tell us something a little about those?
Okay, I think we had a nice discussion on this part also. I would like to stress a few points which will make a person healthy, and this will also be associated with happiness of himself and his family and surrounding people working with him. You rightly pointed out many people in our country do suffer from a disorder or a diseases which can compromise their health and decrease the immunity, which is much talked about today because COVID will, be more dangerous in those cases or those people where immunity is less in these people who suffer from a disease. Of that, one of the most important disorder which came across is the diabetes. And we know that diabetes in India is one of the largest number of people living in India having diabetes. almost 15 to 20% of population would be suffering from diabetes. Of that, some of them will be seriously affected in terms of control of diabetes. So these people, because media, the medical media, press media, social media, they always hype people who have a comorbidity, which may be diabetes or a hypertension, a cardiac disorder, or renal or kidney problems, liver problem, or a lung-related problems will have more chances of mortality. That puts a person who suffers from a disease under serious stress because he already knows that he is going to suffer from a much more chances of having a serious disease in these cases. Therefore, it is our role to tell them, no, it's not exactly true. But if your disease is under control, you maintain your disease treatment properly, you also have a less chances of getting into a serious disease. So that is one important to decrease the stress from a people who are suffering from some medical disorders. Yes, I can understand we need to keep up our medical records properly because sometimes you don't get to see those records when you require, and continuously try to get your profile done, that is blood profile, or to keep your cardiac profile in a proper manner so that you can monitor them. And today we always tell people in a family you should have two things with you. One is pulse oximeter, so that you can record the how much oxygen is there in your blood. The second is thermometer. The two things are very important to be kept in every family in today so that you can monitor carefully. And as soon as your oxygen concentration goes down less than 93%, that's a concern. So that is should be checked in all patients who are suffering from COVID symptoms. Apart from that, temperature, which is more than 100 degrees, which is not coming down, is another important thing, which tells that patient may require admission and proper treatment for these patients. There are a few other things which also are important. One is physical exercises as per your routine day-to-day activity, which has to be modified because you're sitting at home, you're not doing a activity what you used to do earlier. And people who are suffering from diabetes, they should modify their physical activities as per the requirement, and also look after your nutrition because that is also very important to build up what we heard from Mr. Farooq, that nutrition is also very important to build up your immune profile to fight the disease also. Third important thing is social connection. That is, you keep talking to your relatives, your people, your colleagues. That also builds up happiness from inside, and your immunity will also increase. And one of the major challenge for people working in a COVID frontline, let it be medical people or police people, is social stigma. And that is the major challenge we are facing. People distance themselves from people suffering from a disease, or people who are working in this field, they like to have a distance, which is not correct. That has to be put into people's mind that you have to respect these people who are working in this field, and they are the one going to control the system for us with COVID. And these people should be given a due respect so that they can fight better for us. So social stigma is one of the major challenges the entire country is facing, that has to be taken care of by us. And other important thing which I like to highlight here is not to overdo things. You may be doing physical exercise, don't overdo physical exercise right from the day one. Slowly build up your physical exercise time. You can titrate your daily activities in terms of morning, evening, and afternoon, and accordingly you increase your physical exercise to a level which is desired. And two age groups are very, very important to be looked after in the family. One is children, because they are sitting at home, they are totally deprived of outdoor activities. So their inside the home happiness has to be checked, and their health has to be also looked after. And second is the older age group, because they are also totally tied up inside. They are afraid because the media says that if they go out, they'll have immediately they'll have infection. So these two things has to be looked after. Maybe we can give them
Sure, sir.
access to gardens, or going to the top floor or a rooftop or a balconies to have a fresh air and have a better physical activity for these people. And sometimes to overcome the anxiety, what you talked about early, people get into drugs Many people go to alcohol because they think alcohol will kill the viruses from your throat, which is not correct. And overdoing these things can create more anxiety and more disorder than treating your problem. So never overdo things which are not required. So be in a time frame limit, and always do some sort of activities, physical activities. Once you're physically
Sure,
fit, your mental attitude, mental fitness will also increase. So everything is
sure.
interlinked, and that will correct your scenario. Once you are okay, then you can think of other person. So if I look into a people working in a front line, I always say, just think of other person. Other person should be safe. Once the other person is safe, you are already safe. So
Yes.
that message should go across the entire community.
Having empathy is what doctor is suggesting. Very beautiful piece of information. What all you need at home. You need a thermometer, pulse oximeter, if I'm not wrong, sir. And you
Yes.
need to do exercise, but don't overdo it. So now let me bring in Mr. Farooq, sir. Sir, you have been administrator in Jammu and Kashmir. Sir, you also suggested to have human environment, a good, happy human environment. So, how do you think a synergy between society and servants can be made by society or government or the civil servants at the very first place? How can a synergy be made between both of it?
I am a basically a
Yes, sir.
optimistic personality. Optimistic personality is when you are drowning in the tides. So optimistic person make those tides the boat
Yes,
and reach to the shore. Similarly, when our society is drowning in the tides of the corona and the COVID is to be made the boat and reach to the shore. And that is the possibility. There have been ill will and so many problems in the society and the perception of the political establishment. We were confusing the people here. Now, I feel today, with a good approach of the administration, I think people are coming very closer to the administrative. Earlier they were skeptical, they were feeling certain doubts. Now today we find how doctors are working round the clock, how the administrators, the deputy commissioners, even divisional commissioner was with me just 5 days before, and how we had a long interaction on this, me being active and writing a lot, and being a writer also, and being a imaginative novelist also, and bureaucratic background also, and the spirituality also. I like doctors as well as Mr. Tiwari's both the comments. Tiwari Saab as a very good administrator. I really tell him very good. He spoke as one administrator should speak. The and actually it is those who are sitting on the chairs, and people treat them as the leaders, and when people treat them as the role model have to be happy and treat people very beautifully. And this is the time, the corona is the time when people need you, and people need that there should be a full support, and it is coming, but it will take some time. And I have seen today, I have seen that people are cooperating. People are being told not to go for the any gathering. They are not even Eid day. There was not a single person who had gone to the mosque. Even our spiritual leaders issued the futwas. Don't go to the mosque. Means there is a very close synergy, is which is there is a cooperation from the society, and there is a good close chapter is being scripted at present. And about the this doctor's advice about the exercises, I think we have, like you have the yoga is a very good exercise, but mostly yoga has been taken by those people who really are specific to only 21st June, but only Isidin, we have to do it only for one day. No, they're like we do the martial art. Martial art is a same type of meditation where we recite 99 names of God and then do the exercises. Like we control the breath. Breathing control is very necessary because it is a respiratory system and it is a respiratory exercise. When you go for a respiratory exercise, that is only possible that you recite 99 names of God whatsoever form you repeat them, and go for that, and go for the martial art exercise daily, not over. There I agree with the doctor. And about the alcohol, some misnomer has been created by the wine lobby, the alcohol lobby, that alcohol helps COVID to die. No, there I have met so many doctors who said alcohol instigates the and makes the corona more active to damage you. And so many cases who have died are mostly the wine cases, also chronic drunkards also, they have died. So it means there should be a blanket ban. This is the time, corona time. And I think Mr. Tiwari is the right man to communicate it to entire Delhi administration, even Lieutenant Governor of Delhi or the Chief Minister of Delhi, that completely impose the ban on the wine. It is instigating corona disease rather than the publicity about the alcohol is very bad. It is damaging. So I think this is the what I want to
Sure.
share about.
A very
Great
great
message,
message.
sir, for all of us that yoga should not be done only on 21st June, but rather every day.
And
People,
Thank
continue
you
yoga
the
is
so
not
martial
much,
just
art,
sir.
for selfies, it's
martial
for
art every day, every
always.
day.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir. Thank you, sir. Now, I would like IPS MN Tiwari, sir, to give us a final message before we conclude.
See, happiness, health, and our social obligations, professional obligations. Let us try to adjust all of them and gel all of them into equilibrium. First thing. Second thing is that about the happiness, I have to add a little bit more. What I believe is that there is a sprint and there is a marathon. If you are totally relying on pleasures, that is the sprint format of life. Pleasures all pleasures cannot become happiness improvers. Happiness is something which has a lot of ethical, philosophical, professional, and some other value loaded issues. So, happiness, I always say, don't run for the pleasure only. Actually, develop a sustainable model of happiness in your life. Define what actually gives you happiness. And believe me, one thing is very important, be a good person. What this is why I always admire Aristotle, that the good life is the happy life. And good life doesn't mean rich life. Good life doesn't mean powerful life. Good life means is actually and essentially based on good principles of a good human being. Just be a good human being, be honest person in every walk of life, be follower of you know humanitarianism, nature lover. I think these are all principles of goodness. Just we should try to align with them. That will increase our happiness. It will ultimately give us better health, and in turn will be a creator of harmonious society. And disease, we all know that the immunity in our body is very much influenced by state of our mind, because we are a chemical factory. A lot of hormones are governed by our state of minds. So if you are at peace with yourself, if you are good at yourself, your mind will generate all kind of chemical things which your body requires, and will actually balance yourself. So be a good human being in all walks of life. I think that is the biggest source of happiness. This is what I can say right now.
Thank you so much for that. Sure, sir. So now I will move on to Doctor. Sir, Doctor, we have a viewer, Alan Edwin. He says that his dad is a diabetic for past 18 years, and staying happy is very important. However, the COVID-19 has definitely tensed him, as we stay far from home due to job. So, what is your suggestion to Alan, sir?
I think I did highlight this point during my talk also. It is not really worrisome to have diabetes. As I said, diabetes is there. It cannot be taken off because it cannot be cured. Only thing which can be done is control the diabetes. So I would suggest he should have a routine activity what he used to do earlier. Make sure your calories which you take as per the diabetic diet has to be controlled, which is very important for diabetes control. And go for a little bit of walk in the morning and afternoon, maybe a rooftop. If you have a garden nearby, you can go there. And it's not only the blood sugar which has to be controlled, your lipid profile also has to be nicely controlled. Both things has to be looked after. And always make sure you don't overdo things which I've been talking about, because sometimes you don't have enough calories in your body, but you do a lot of exercises that can take away your blood glucose and you can have a hypoglycemia. To always go for a whatever advice being given by you, by your physician, and follow that, and you'll be all right. I'm pretty sure if you do a three important things which we have been discussing right from the month of March: proper social distancing, washing your hands carefully and not touching your face regularly, if possible using some sort of mask at working area, or whenever you go out, use a mask, because it is important to prevent this disease getting into you. So that is important. Rather than thinking of a disease getting you, think of preventing disease from your side. Social distancing, use proper mask, and keep washing or cleaning your hands, and that would be the best way to fight with this disorder.
Sure, doctor. Thank you so much. So Ellen got his
Yeah,
answer. Focus more on how to cure diabetes than on COVID. For COVID, we have three pillars: social
yeah.
distancing, wearing mask, and washing hands. Thank you so much, doctor. Sir, any closing comments, sir, for your viewers?
We are today discussing happiness, and we always target happiness with your good health. The good health doesn't mean you are happy. Good health may give you a better physical status of yours, but you still may not be happy. So my mantra for my all people working with me or my colleagues is: if you can make other person happy, that's the best thing which can happen to you, and you will be, as such, you will be happier. So I look for a situation, if I can help other person, make him happy, that will make me more happy. And that's the thing we should look after. Today's generation and today's situation demands that it's not only you, the other people should be safe and they should be happier. The entire thing will be all right. So that is what I have to say.
Thank you so much, sir.
Now, we would like to ask Farooq sir, your closing comments to our viewers, anything that you would like to share with our viewers.
Yeah, I think I am very happy that today you have conducted a very beautiful. It is a need of the time. I think ACT force, of which I am the part, and I'm the chairman in the J&K Union Territory as well as Ladakh UT, and with your this perception scenario, I think it should be a continuous, and every person who really take should be benefited with the realities of the life. Whether as both the panelists, very learned panelists, even I have learned from them, and they have talked about the state of mind and the happiness. State of mind and happiness cannot, if you have a good physique, it doesn't mean your state of mind is the happy. I subscribe his view, very great. uh, State of mind is created by day to day perception. Unfortunately, we in this corona crisis, we are not only in our country but throughout the world are passing through uh, perception wars. Perception are so fatal and so killing that one doesn't know what is happening. Somebody is say who is wrong, who is the China's agent, and some say that it has been mutated. This corona by the human is actually the human war is going on. and it is a low intensity war where the borders are not working. It is only the society is on the loggerhead. I think we should combine all. There is a one tag, only one tag is the sense of happiness, which our very old generations have taught us. I tell, even India should be declared as a Sufi Rashtriya. It has been the source of the Sufiyat everywhere. And they have been emphasizing on the Sufiyat. And Sufiyat is the happiness. Happiness is that when you don't have the venom against another human being, be one, be happy, treat a human as a precious entity of the God. It is a Vadatul Wujud. It has been created by God as a special entity to be happy and spread happiness. If a human spreads happiness and not create a scare, not create a wrong perception against any other human, whatsoever form it is, whatsoever region it is, whatsoever race it is, I think this corona can lead us to a new chapter of the world, which will be, and it has to. If people don't understand the consequences of corona yet, it has to take, it has to teach humanity a very big lesson, and it is in the process of teaching us all the lessons. But ACT force has to carry this lesson to every human being. You can be happy only when you kill hate. You kill hate, corona will die. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. I would also remind our viewers, Mr. Farooq's contribution in JNK. He is the head of ACTF in JNK and Ladakh. Thank you so much, sir. So let me put things in perspective. Mr. IPS Mahendranath Singh says, "Good life is happy life." Doctor is saying, "Make others happy, you will be happier." And what Mr. Farooq has said, "Kill hate, Corona will automatically get killed, and happiness will prevail." So thank you so much, all of the panelists, for their inspirational words and inspiration to our viewers. Jessica?
With this webinar, we would like to show our gratitude and love towards our civil servants, armed forces, CISF, who are all in our frontline workers. Please take care of yourself and your family members and do stay safe during these corona times.
Okay,
Also,
Thank you.
so with
practice
this,
yoga, exercise, and other, like how Farooq ji said, martial arts and yoga is a must. So please don't forget to do that as well. You all are very, very important to us, and we look forward to doing so many webinars with you in the future.
so
Thank
with
you,
this,
Mom.
we wrap up with this very beautiful segment. Thank you, panelists, for joining us. I would request viewers to please like, share, and comment, and do subscribe us. Thank you so much, everyone. Namaskar.
Bye
Jessica and
bye.
Kanis, wonderful moderation. Terrific. Very
Very
nice.
great. Beautiful show. Very informative.